Hello, everyone. This is the first edition of the Angry Wolverine podcast. I'm your host, Brian Jordan, coming from you live from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm going to give you my first analysis of Michigan's first game against the New Mexico Lobos, which took place this past Saturday. One of the things that I'm really excited about this whole podcast is because this is my very first one. I've been putting it off for many, many years, and now it's the time for really to launch this thing. So I don't have a introduction or any type of graphics or any other things related to production. I'm just going to give you my analysis right out back for the first 2 weeks, where I learned some softwares and some of the applications are going to be using to spice things up a bit. So please be patient. The only thing I have that's of any quality right now is the camera. So I'm making moves and making more investments into the quality of this podcast because I want to be top notch, so that I can reach fans from coast to coast, from east to west, the north to south. I want to reach all Michigan fans and some of our enemies. So here we are. First thing that I really was excited about right off back when I first saw the first series that Michigan went on offense was the athleticism of the quarterback Underwood. Bryce Underwood is on another level. He has an NFL kind of arm. He has a cannon. He probably has, I believe he's going to have the best arm that is very similar to Dan Marino. He even has the confidence of Dan Marino. I was watching highlight films of Dan Marino his first 2 years in NFL. And even though his team didn't win the Super Bowl in 1984, the confidence and the swagger he had back then was good enough to win one. And I'm shocked that he was never able to get back to the Super Bowl. They got very close in 92. Couldn't beat the Buffalo Bills, South Beach. I don't know what happened. But Dolphins never came back, or Marino never played another Super Bowl again. That was quite shocking. But Bryce Underwood reminds me so much of Dan Marino. And his pocket presence, I feel like, is extremely rare for a freshman. Again, a freshman quarterback being able to control the pocket the way he did, I don't think Chad Henne had that same type of confidence. Or even Rick Leach. Back in he led the Michigan Wolverines back in the late 70s. And I was watching some highlight films of his freshman year. Bryce Underwood is just a class within his own. There's everyone else, and then there's Bryce Underwood. He's certainly better than what I saw of Arch Manning. I mean, that dude got to be the most overrated quarterback in the history of college sports. Coming into a season where he is the starter of the Longhorns. I'm shocked. Going back to Bryce Underwood, he had strong chemistry with the receivers, especially with the tight end Klein. That's going to be his go-to guy. That is going to be the guy that's going to give us yards. That's going to be the guy that's going to bail us out of trouble on third downs. So I was very impressed with the tight end that we have right now. And again, when in the first quarter where I feel like Michigan was dominant, I was riding through Indiana. I told my wife in the first quarter, I said, there's no team in America that's going to beat Michigan. No team in America. Not one iota, not one team is going to be able to catch up or play at the pace of Michigan, because they're playing like they were playing in 2023 in the first quarter. It's like, okay, retro Michigan. But then the second quarter happened, I was like, pump the brakes. Whoa. The defense started to lag, and then the offense. And then there was some questionable calls from Shawan Moore. Shawan, I'm talking directly to you. And this is where I'm about to get angry for the first time on podcast. Why didn't you go for it on fourth down and one before halftime? New Mexico is not going to stop Michigan on fourth down, because by you not doing that, they changed the whole momentum of the second quarter and kept them in the game. You go for the fourth down, New Mexico don't score. At best, they only get 3 points. But Sharon, you should have went for it on 4th down. There was a lot of things that happened in that game that pissed me off, and that was one of them. I get into what happened in the 4th quarter, or when the ridiculous call was made of targeting. Man, that was just ridiculous. One of the things I didn't notice about the offense was that Chip Lynch's offense got out to a great start. There were a lot of, I would say, balance on both, basically between the run and the passing game. In recent years, Michigan relied heavily on the run to establish the pass on 3rd down. But this is one that I think the cleanest run-pass mixes that I've seen in going back to the Carr days. And I'm probably stretching it quite a bit. I watch a lot of Michigan football. Sometimes my men would get the best of me. But yeah, as far as the balance, as far as both, the pass and the run, I thought it was the best I've seen since the Lloyd Carr days. I believe the play design was very creative, but overly aggressive and built on, kind of making life easier for Bryce Underwood. The way they kind of packaged things up. Especially they did not allow him to run at all. Which I understand that. You're trying to protect your quarterback. It's his first game in the big house. It's his first collegiate football. Even though he balled out in high school, playing in the big house, wearing a basic blue uniform is a different animal. And I do appreciate the coaching staff doing everything they can to tame him, which they successfully did. But Bryce Underwood made a block that was just like, man, an NFL type of block. From a quarterback, I'm like, man, if we can keep this man for 3 years on this team, we will win 2 national championships with his leadership. Now I'm going to pump the brakes because I think that there's some teams that could be Michigan. But I'm going to tell you right now, a team that cannot be Michigan this year, based on what I saw, and it's that team down in Columbus, Ohio. Yes, that's right. The Ohio State Buckeyes did not impress me against Texas. And they're not, and the way they're playing right now, they're not going to be in Michigan in Ann Arbor in November, Thanksgiving weekend. It is not going to happen. I'm sorry, Buckeye, Bucknuts. It's not going to happen. I got so much to say about you guys. I got a lot to say, but I'm not going to go into that right now. I'm just going to go to the key playmakers. I thought Marlon Klein, again, as I stated before, he's going to be our go-to guy when we need a bailout on 3rd down. He's going to be the emerging focal point of the passing game, the pass attack for Michigan, and Bryce was very comfortable with him, especially in the red zone. Especially when we need to be bailed out of trouble, he is going to be the go-to guy. Got to keep him healthy. Donovan McCulley is going to be a deep threat. Was very impressed with his play. Shades Boring made a dynamic catch after catch after catch. And he's going to be a dude to watch. One of the things, Andrew Marsh, I'm going to close my notes. Andrew Marsh, he has a lot of talent. But Marsh needs a lot of development. Let me tell you the surprise of the night. The surprise that I saw was the Michigan run game. I was expecting more out of Jordan Marshall. And I'm not sure if he's hurt or what's going on, but I feel like he ran too hard at times and was not seeing the whole real good. But Justice Hayes, he's our number 1 running back. He's Blake Corum. That's gonna be our guy. And if he runs the ball the way he had been in the first game, he will win the Heisman this year. He will win the Heisman. Just like Blake Corum almost won it in 2022. Thanks a lot, Illinois. Thanks a lot. I'm still angry about that hit y'all made on him, that cheat shot, but I'm going to leave that alone. Now let's talk about both sides of the ball. Let's talk about the offensive line. All studs, they're going to be good. They're going to protect Bryce Underwood. That's what you asked for. That's what you got, Michigan. Protect the quarterback. You got a good line. Good luck anybody trying to stop the offensive line. Good luck trying to stop the run against Michigan in 4 quarters. Good luck, college football. It ain't going to happen with that offensive line they got. But the defense probably was the most frustrating aspect of Michigan's game. At times they played undisciplined. At times they couldn't make stops on third down when they should have. And it seems if the defensive line is going to have to go from development. They did make some big plays. I kid you not. They made some big plays in the game, but not enough, in my opinion, to really help Michigan explode. Because I honestly believe Michigan should have blown New Mexico out by 50 with the talent I got. But our defense kept them in the game by stupid plays. And so, yeah. Again, just kind of close out this small clip as far as a recap. When I reflect, and I'll probably go back and watch the game and just catch and see other things because you're getting my first feed on the day after the game. I would say based upon my first, kind of like go as far as analysis of watching the game on Saturday. The takeaways is this: Bryce Underwood's a stud. The offensive line is going to be unstoppable. The run game is going to be great. Defense has question marks. But their problems are fixable. Very much fixable. And to close this off, there's absolutely no way that Ohio State is going to beat Michigan. And let's not talk about Michigan State, that team from East Lansing, the team that has not done anything in football since the 60s. A team that is pretty much anemic offensively and defensively. And they're just barely surviving the Big Ten right now. So how do you feel, Sparty? How do you feel today? Okay, you played Western and you packed yourselves back, got a win. Yeah, but it's Western Michigan. It's not the likes of Michigan or any Division I school. Yeah, just saying. Just saying. And I know you hate for me to say that about you, but you are a bottom feeder of the Big Ten now. You are the Michigan State of the 80s, of the early 80s. You remember those times, right? The early 80s, the early 90s, and right now in the 2020s. You are a bottom feeder of the Big Ten. And pretty soon, your best friend, the team that you've been riding on throughout the whole Spygate scandal fiasco nonsense, the Buckeyes will join you in that spot. Because one thing I can say about Michigan that none of your other teams in the Big Ten can say is that Michigan is your daddy. Thank you. Go Blue. And goodbye.